Why my camera is playing autofocus, I don't know. But for the first time ever, the DoDCast will do a brief pregame show before this pivotal, decisive, nerve-wracking, angst-ridden Game 5. And joining me is Ricky Keeler. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Ron. How are you doing?
All right, so we're going to be with you for about 15 minutes before the game. So we're going to stay till about 7:45 to get you set before Game 5 of this National League Divisional Series. Winner obviously has a cross-country flight and 1 day to prepare for the Los Angeles Dodgers. The losers, well, golf season starts tomorrow, whether it's in Chicago or Washington. So how are you feeling coming into tonight?
Every Game 5 is nerve-wracking, but I think especially for the Nats, this one is a nerve-wracking game. But I think you got to go in thinking this game's going to be close, and it's going to come down to the little things. Which team makes an error? Which team moves the runners over? Which team gets to clutch hits? I mean, you can analyze the Game 5 every which way, but it's one game, and anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And the series has been so much fun. Every game's been close. Every game comes down to the wire. These teams have played 3 runs or less in 4. They're only in 14 of 18 since 2016. The Nats have won all 4 decided by more than 3. So you can take that in your back pocket going into tonight. But tough matchup. But Gio gets a chance for redemption 5 years to the date tonight.
Yep. And Michael Morris is tossing out the first pitch this evening.
Bring some good karma for sure. I like what Dusty said pregame, that Gio wanted the ball to make up for 5 years ago. So I never like when they say, Dusty goes, oh, these guys don't, some of them weren't on the team. It's on their mind. They're not going to say it's on their mind, but you going to the mound tonight thinking about what happened against the Cardinals. He's going to go in, try to give him 5 innings and either hand the ball to Tanner Roark or 2 innings of Max Scherzer.
It's been on their mind. It's pretty obvious to me it's been on their mind just from how tight that they are and how tight the fans get. Oops, that just flashed in my face. Let's go through the starting lineups. I've called them up, which is why I'm not looking at you right now, Ricky. Oh, I'm hideous. Don't look at me. All right. Leading off for the Chicago Cubs is John Jay in left, a left-handed hitter. Chris Bryant, who's batted second most of the year, will play third, his normal position. He's a righty. And then it's Anthony Rizzo, will bat third, the left-hander. Wilson Contreras is the catcher. He'll bat cleanup. Albert Amora Jr. is the center fielder. That's the one big change, and that's probably a very big one for the Cubs.
Moore's the better center fielder defensively, and the Cubs, it looks like, with every game being as close as it's been, are going for the all-defensive lineup to try to keep an error from changing this game.
We petitioned Kyle Schwarber to play all 3 outfield positions, but Joe Madden told us where we could go. Jason Hayward, Addison Russell bats 6 and plays short. He's the righty. Jason Hayward plays right field. He bats left, and he'll bat 7th. Javi Baez will play second and bats right. And I'm surprised, that Madden never went with the bat the pitcher 8th thing that he tends to do. It's been conventional all 5 games. Kyle Hendricks, who pitched a wonderful Game 1 for Chicago, will bat 9th. And he's a right-hander, just in case anyone cares. No surprises tonight in that, right?
No, I think outside of Almora, but it's not that Almora is a slouch hitter. I mean, he had the game-tying hit in Game 3. To me, there's a significant gap between Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, and then the rest of this lineup. So Gonzalez can find a way to keep Rizzo in check. And I think that's partially why he got this start, because usually outside of that home run in Game 2, Gio usually keeps Rizzo from making a huge impact.
And obviously defense is why Jay is in there instead of Schwarber, right?
Oh, correct. That's why Hayward's in there too.
Right. So 3 left-handed hitters for the Cubs to face the lefty Gio tonight. For the Washington Nationals, it's Trey Turner leading off at short. Jason Worth will bat second and play left field. Bryce Harper in right will bat third. Brian Zimmerman will play first in cleanup. Daniel Murphy will bat fifth and play second. Anthony Rendon is the third baseman, will bat sixth. Matt Wieters, 7th, will catch. Michael A. Taylor, the center fielder, bats 8th, and Gio Gonzalez will pitch and bat 9th. Same lineup as last night, and it was effective last night.
Yeah, again, the only problem you can have is with Jason Worth hitting second. But as Dusty said today pregame, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but he said Jason Worth's a big game player. I mean, he said also, I couldn't imagine being in his shoes and being told to sit down. I mean, you can not like Dusty for being sort of sentimental and not playing the mattress. But as we talked about it, if he wasn't going to sit game 3 for Kendrick, who had good numbers against Quintana, Wirt's not going to sit. Now, he might get pulled later in the game for Goodwin or Robles for defensive reasons, but they're going to give Jason Wirth every opportunity, and hopefully he'll break out from his 1 for 14 he's been in this series.
All he has to do for me is work a couple 10-pitch at-bats.
Which he did yesterday, and that made an impact on Arrieta, regardless of only scoring 1 run.
Absolutely. The key is to get the Cubs into that bullpen as fast as possible.
Which I think, though, tonight, the key to watch, I think Joe Maddon wants to make this game Hendricks to Quintana to Davis. I don't think he wants to go to anybody else tonight.
No, but remember, it was Davis that gave it the grand slam yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Seth asks, what inning does Max come in?
Dusty said he doesn't want to use him, and I think that's the good strategy to have. If you can avoid using Scherzer and have him for a game 1, if you're up by a good margin, you can do that. I think it's the 6th or 7th. I think it's to bridge the gap between the starter and between Sean Doolittle, because I don't think you're going to see Madsen tonight. I think you're going to see Doolittle for multiple innings if needed tonight. Mm-hmm. But I would rather hopefully go Geo5. I would give Tanner Roark an opportunity. I mean, maybe I'm just the sentimental person. He deserves a chance, and I think he's ready to rise to the challenge. Honestly, if Dusty says everybody available, this won't happen. I'd love to see Steven Strasburg finish this game.
I'd love to see it, but I don't think you need it.
He's in their head. You can tell the Cubs kind of realize that.
Oh, yeah.
They can't hit this guy. I would love to see Dusty kind of take a Dave Roberts page out of the playbook and use Strasburg to get a couple out lead.
Why is TBS showing highlights of Game 5 of the 86 American League Championship Series? Poor Donnie Moore suffered enough. And I say that as someone who was very happy with that Dave Henderson home run. Seth says, we staved off elimination last night. Why not again? Let's go Nats. Woohoo! Judo Joker says, I was thinking today. Don't do that, Judo. After how yesterday, no matter how today goes, we have to hold our head up. Our team has done great things this year. Strauss is in top form, and who would have thought Michael A. Taylor would have won our hearts over? I remember calling him Mr. March. And I feel bad about that now. I mean,
Michael K. Taylor was the other one.
That was true. Yep. He's done so much. It depends on how tonight goes. I mean, if the Cubs come out and just pound them into submission, there's nothing ever wrong with a playoff year. I know that everyone wants to advance. Me too. I'm not going to say that. And besides, we lose Ricky once the season's over. I'm not ready for that. You got to stay, man. But in all seriousness, I think this team has a very good chance to advance tonight. I'll ask you this: do you feel better going into tonight, or did you feel better a year ago?
Better tonight, but Hendricks is pretty much on par, close to as par as Kershaw as you can with his ability to pitch in big games. He closed out the NLCS and he closed out the World Series last year. It's not going to phase him. I'm going to disagree with Judo. I think regardless, they have to win this game for the season to be a success, because this team, yes, it won 2 more games than last year, but it ended up getting to the same point. If this franchise can't get past this point, you saw what happened in Cleveland last night. They're not happy with 2 straight blown 3-1 lead in the World Series and a 2-0 lead in the ALDS. You got this big win yesterday. Go take it right now. You have all the momentum. You should beat this Cubs team. You're better than this Cubs team. To me, it would be a failure. I don't care how it ends. It'd be a failure if they lose this game. And it's good to have those expectations, because this team won 97 games. They should advance.
I wouldn't call it a failure. But I think the cards lay better for them than they did last year, because they had 2 chances to put away the series last year and couldn't do it. Dusty Baker finally won an elimination game.
But at least if you win this game and lose to the Dodgers, then I think it's a success. You got around further. You at least took advantage. Because remember, the Bryce Harper era might only last past next season. So you need to make sure that you capitalize on this Bryce Harper window. Doesn't mean the window is closed on contending, but you want to get as far as you can while Bryce Harper is on your team.
Arcade Jr. Slick Pola says on Twitter, whatever happens tonight, it's been a pleasure following you guys all year. True brilliance. Thanks, buddy. We do appreciate that. Seth asks, is this the first time ever we've done a pre and a post? Yes. I don't think we will do pre's for if they do advance. I think it was mostly because we did not know who the starting pitcher was going to be tonight, and we wanted to take a few minutes to actually address that as opposed to what would normally have been in the written article. Judo continues. Having said that, the Cubs are the one remaining team I would pull my hair on if they won the World Series. I don't have any left, Judo, to pull out, but I hear you. Funny stat, Matt Wieters has the third best Nats OPB this series. He doesn't have a hit. He's played the Homer Simpson role. He either gets a hit or gets or draws a walk.
He takes a lot of pitches, too. I wouldn't rule out Matt Wieters being an X factor because, again, a lot of people call for him to pinch hit, gets most of his RBIs at men scoring position. So I still think Matt Wieters can get the job done. He might not be I think the guy to watch tonight is Daniel Murphy. He's had a bad series, but he's also had bad luck. Game 1, lined one right to Rizzo. Yesterday, diving catch by Bryant. He has the best chance against Hendricks to elevate one of those low changeups and hit him out of the park. He had 2 home runs against him in August. If somebody's going to get to Hendricks tonight, I think it's Murphy.
Yeah, I did the 3 keys to the game, and the one that I had was you have to change your approach to Hendricks as the game goes along. You need to be a little more aggressive in the count early in swinging. And when he does leave it in the zone, you have to swing at those pitches, which is something that didn't happen in the first game. But my X factor tonight, I think, is Trey Turner. If he gets on early, this is all about putting the pressure on the Cubs. Remember, the Cubs had the chance to close this out at home yesterday and then had to fly out to play this game.
And had all the craziness from yesterday.
Right, absolutely. And so the key, I think, for the Nats is they need to be the first team to score, and they need to be they need to put pressure on the Cubs early, just to make them think, get them off balance, and let the crowd and the team get into it.
I think you need a lead. I think you need a.
Nope, you cut out. I think
you need a lead.
Go ahead.
You need a lead, I think, before Quintana comes in because he kept the Nats off balance too in Game 3. So if you can get a couple runs and at least have the lead if Madden goes to another starting pitcher, I think whichever team has the lead going to the second starting pitcher is going to win this game.
Yeah, no, that would make a lot of sense. Seth says his X factor is Edelman.
I don't know when he's getting in. He hasn't really played this series outside of the at-bat in Game 2.
Well, that's all I needed. I saw a list of ERAs by inning from the Cubs staff. The first, it was 2 and 2.25, and then 2 through 7, it was 0, and then in the 8th, it was 20.25. I don't think we want to be sitting here in the 8th inning waiting for yet another miracle to happen.
But I think the 2 pitches we want to keep an eye on, Hendricks' changeup. We talk about how good Strasburg's changeup is. Hendricks is pretty close because it doesn't really vary from this fastball. And Gio's breaking ball because
late breaking stuff here. Drew Douglas is actually at the game, and he tweets. He tells us Hendricks is grabbing at his side while tossing in the outfield.
So that will be something to monitor for the next couple innings.
Yeah. So just happens to be that Drew left. He skipped out of school to go to this game, and so that's actually something that we can actually report to you. So Hendricks is grabbing at his side as he's warming up. TBS is showing a commercial for cell phones.
So again, breaking ball was really the problem to Rizzo, but really that's been his signature pitch. That and pinning the fastball in the corners.
And Judo says, I hope we don't get it to a 6-run lead. Yes, you do. If it's for the Nats, you want to. All right. Real quick thoughts because you want to get ready for the actual game coverage.
Again, which team scores first, I think is going to win this game. I picked Nats in 5, just like you did. So there's no reason, I think, to go away from that. I was less confident last year that they would win Game 5, but this year I think 4-3 they win Game 5.
Ooh, a score for Ricky. I think they win. I think it's going to be much more of a nail biter than we'd always hoped, but that's what happens in these situations. And I think Gio does and keeps him in the game, and I think you do see a couple of innings of Scherzer, and the Nats will win. I won't give you a score. Seth says that he thinks about midnight I'll be saying welcome to a happy recap. Ricky is hosting the post-game show tonight because he's the one doing the tweets. But if they win, then Ricky stays along for another week. All right, so that will do it for us talk to Ricky at the game at District on Deck on Twitter, because he will be taking care of that and keeping all you crazy people occupied throughout the night. I'm Ron Juckett. Drew will not be with us after the game, but we'll both talk to you afterwards, hopefully for a happy recap. Until then, enjoy.
Enjoy, everybody.